We have got 8 random Chao here that were generated using the Chao Randomizer, and we're going to be having them compete against each other in 3 categories. We got style, karate, and racing. Let's now introduce the 8 Chao so you guys can get to know them before we start having them beat the crap out of each other. First up, we got Yes, who's a very unique looking Chao who can even do backflips. That's pretty cool. Somehow though, they didn't get any stamina from the randomizer. Rosso, much more well balanced and very cool looking. They got like the purple highlights and their eyes are even like slightly blue or purple. Very cool looking Chao here. Next is Chaolin, who has crazy good flying power, but not a whole lot else. Like Run just kind of got forgotten about with the randomizer, I guess. Nagoshi, somewhat well-balanced Chao, very cool looking, even got like a custom modded texture, along with some animal parts, very nice looking Chao. Spike got the best moves of any of the Chao here, sadly not the best in terms of stats, but at least they're well-rounded. Next is Chapone, who doesn't have any power, pretty fast, and oh, goodbye Chapone, I guess, very cool looking Chao though. Next, we got Tango, who's got a ton of stamina. This Chao loves to eat. Very cool looking too. Also got a custom modded texture, just like Nagoshi. And then Tiny, the last one here. Not actually all that tiny. Pretty good power stack compared to some of the other Chao. Very cool looking. So I mentioned we're going to be ranking them in 3 different ways, based on their appearance, their racing, and their karate skills. Appearance is going to be worth 10 points total, racing being 8 points, and karate being 8 points as well. Appearance, the 10 points is simply just what I think of their appearance out of 10. Racing is going to be based on how they finish in the races. So first place finish in a race will be worth 8 points, and last place only gets 1 point. And then the final tally for the racing points will be the average of each of their placements across all of the jewel races. So we'll be doing a bunch of races for them. In karate, the points will be based on how far they finish. We'll be kind of doing it like a tournament style thing. So the first place Chao will be getting the most points, and last place Chao will be getting the least points. So now let's get into rating their appearance. Up first, we got Yes. I think Yes is awesome. They got the unicorn parts, weird kind of pink modded texture for a Dark Chaos Chao. Easy 9 out of 10. Really cool looking Chao. Up next, we got Rosso. Also pretty cool looking, a little bit more basic than Yes. The skunk parts, I don't know if they really fit the overall Chao that well. You can definitely tell they're more of a random Chao than just Yes. So I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. Next up is Chaolin. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of this like type of mouth on a Chao. I don't really know what it's supposed to be, so honestly, it's pretty apparent to me they're a random Chao, so I'm gonna give them a 5 out of 10. They don't really have the best style in my opinion. Up next is Nagoshi, and I think Nagoshi's awesome. I absolutely love the gorilla ears. I think the animals that they got randomly really worked out for them, along with being a really cool modded texture. I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. Next up is Spike. Spike's really cool looking, a little bit basic, you know, just like a jewel green Chao, but their animal parts really suit them. I think the dragon ears look, or not dragon ears, the dragon wings look really cool. And whatever ears they have also look pretty nice, so I'm gonna give them a 8 out of 10. Next up, we got Chapone, who again, like some of the other Chao, it's pretty obvious that it's a random Chao. Like, I don't even know what this texture is supposed to be. Like, half their body is just invisible. I'm gonna give them a 6 out of 10 just because I don't know. I don't think they're the coolest looking Chao. Next, we got Tango. Tango's an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love their Chao face. It's the same face I actually use in my profile picture, the surprised mouth with like the smaller eyes. I think it's really cute. I love the penguin eyebrows, and then the texture on them is just really cool. Tango, easy 10 out of 10. And lastly, we got Tiny here. They're pretty cool looking too. I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. They honestly just look kind of basic. They don't really wow me in any way. But honestly, like all of these Chao look really cool. Like even Chaolin, I give them a 5 out of 10. They're still pretty cool looking Chao, but I got to be objective here and try and rank them based off each other. You know, I can't just give every Chao a 10 out of 10. So Tiny, we're gonna go 7 out of 10. So for the races, we ended up doing all of the jewel races and then kind of averaging out the placements to determine their points. As you can see, Nagoshi ended up doing the best. Tiny was not too far behind them. Same with Chaolin and Tango. There was a bit of a drop off after that. As you can see, Spike did considerably worse than all of the other Chao. Most of the Chao were pretty well rounded, and the Chao that weren't, you can clearly see how they did in the races. Like Yes, for example, they did honestly really bad in all the races, except for the running race, because they're really fast. So they got first in that one, but they got last place in 3 of the other races, including the all-around general race. So it's not the best look there for Yes, but overall it was actually pretty close. Spike sadly did way worse than all the other Chao, getting last in 2 of the races and getting 7th in all of the other ones. but almost every other Chao got a podium placement at some point. Or I think they all did, actually, if I look over it. Yeah, all of them got first, second, or third at some point, except for Spike. Spike was the only one who did not really have too much success in the races. So now let's get over to the karate and see which Chao is the best at karate. So here's the bracket for our karate tournament. We got Yis, Rosso, Chao, Nagoshi, Spike, Chapone, and Tango and Tiny all fighting in that order, and we'll see who advances. The points are based on how far they actually advance in the bracket, with the first place Chao getting 8 points. I'm going to be showing only small snippets of each fight, just so this video doesn't take forever. Honestly, a large chunk of the fights were very boring because the Chao just don't have a lot of power, and honestly, a lot of them just really couldn't do damage to each other. We had a lot of timeouts. Thankfully, Rosso, though, pretty strong, was able to take out Yes in a reasonable amount of time. Chao and Nagoshi, the next fight. These are two of the stronger Chao that we have. As you can see, Chao getting off some pretty big hits there on Nagoshi. Nagoshi actually came relatively close. You know, some of these fights were really lopsided, so good job Nagoshi there, holding their own against Chao. Next up, we got Spike and Chapone, and Chapone is an interesting one here in this this karate tournament, I guess. They don't have much power, and they're pretty fast. If you guys saw my Chao karate tournament from a few months back, you'll likely know about the Booper strategy, which is a Chao that has really low power but is still fast, and honestly, it's a little bit OP, and Chapone has kind of got that going with the stats that they got from the randomizer. Next up, we got Tango and Tiny, two little cuties here. Neither of these guys look very tough. Pretty sure this match went to a timeout. Yeah, here we are in the final seconds here. Neither of them really doing too much damage to each other. Tiny's able to get some damage, but Tango really just didn't have much power and just not really able to keep up. And that's the first timeout. I think we have a couple more timeouts here. But let's get on to the next round here. We got Rosso and Chao advancing, Chapone and Tiny. So each of them get 4 points now in the total scoreboard. And they're going to compete to get 6 points if they advance to the next round. And if they make it all the way to the end as the champion, they'll get a full 8 points. And that's pretty big in this competition, honestly. So it's round 2. We got Rosso and Chao taking each other on early. Chao kind of scary, you know, they got that robot face. They're pretty tough. We saw their power was pretty high. Rosso also has decently high power, though. Got some quick dodges off the bat. Just kind of a nice stare down after that. Again, yeah, Rosso, even though Rosso was getting some big hits off in that first round, really not able to do much damage to Chao. As you can see, we do eventually go to timeout. Part of it's that these Chao just really didn't have a whole lot for, I think it's intelligence that affects the zeal thing. So a lot of this fight, honestly, was them just sleeping and me slowly, or not slowly, but me mashing the A button, trying to get them to slowly wake up. It took a while, but move on to the next round here. We got Chapone and Tiny. And Tiny, unfortunately, coming up against Chapone a little bit early here. And we can see the Booper strat. Chapone trying it out early. Luckily, though, Tiny gets the dodge there. But Chapone is just too fast with their Booper strategy. They're able to just knock Tiny off the edge here, as you'll see in a second. Yeah, look, they're able to get 2 hits off before Tiny even moves at all there. And yeah, Chapone moving on, getting that the 6 points, and moving on to the finals here against Chao. And we'll see who ends up coming out on top and getting the 8 points, which is really big again in this competition. So very important for the overall leaderboards here, who wins the karate. Here are the finals, though. We got Chao, Chapone, 2 Chao starting with CHA. Kind of similar names, but I don't know. I guess the starts are similar, but yeah, Chapone busting out that Booper strategy. If you guys saw a karate tournament, you likely already know how this is going to go. Chapone just getting those little hits, not doing much damage, but they are able to get the ring outs. It'd be kind of cool if there was some kind of a mod or like Chao karate thing that added like a cage match type thing where they can't actually get knocked off the edge, where it's literally just fighting the whole time, just whichever Chao gets the health bar the lowest. That'd be kind of an interesting mod for someone to potentially develop. But as you can see there, Chapone coming out on top, beating Chao and being the champion of the Chao karate portion of this Chao randomizer video. With the 8 points from the karate, Chapone is the winner. Good job, Chapone. Very cool Chao. That was also pretty good at races and karate, so that's awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Helps out the channel a lot, and thank you so much for watching. I've got lots of other Sonic Adventure content on this channel if you want to check it out, and I've got other content coming out soon, so thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.